Hi. I don't think anyone's actually watching it, but hi anyway. You know what? This play that I'm going to be drawing tonight, Titus Andronicus, it's a monster beast of a play that... So, I've seen it once. My goodness, I'm like, my eyes are falling out of my head right now. This is why I don't wear makeup. I'm immediately itchy. Anyway, I've seen it once, and it was a really, really good, really cool production of it at the Clarence Brown Theater at the University of Tennessee. It was back in like 2018 or so, maybe. It was really, really good. And then I read it I think I read it before then, kind of just glanced through it. And then didn't have enough time to give it the read that it deserves this week. But it's a good play that requires some like really in-depth studying. So I'm like, as I'm thinking about what I'm gonna draw, I'm kind of starting for the first time at a deficit where all the plays that I've done so far up to this point have had a particular scene or a particular passage or piece of communication between two characters that just, I went, that's what I need to draw. And this one, don't know if I found that. I came away with more of a kind of a thematic thought, I guess. So I don't actually know what kind of drawing I'm actually about to do. But also, before I draw anything, like, check out my shirt. I made myself a shirt, which you could buy if you want one. You could buy one of my low-hanging Shakespeare shirts. I opened a TeePublic store some time ago. I don't know the link off the top of my head, but if you go to my Instagram, reese.harp, my website is linked on there, and then my TeePublic site is linked on there. I have all kinds of weird designs and some cool stuff on there for you to wear should you decide that you want my art on your body in some way. I'm putting up more stuff all the time. These cards might go on there at some point. So, we'll see about that. But yeah, I have an official low-hanging Shakespeare t-shirt now. Pretty cool. So, yeah, Titus Andronicus is, I don't know, it's just straight up a revenge play, and it's gory as hell, and like, my talking about it and describing it doesn't do it justice at all. And I don't think reading it does. Obviously, reading it doesn't do it justice. Literally, reading Shakespeare is the worst. Don't do it. Go watch it. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's any productions. I'm going to check BritBox RQ. Because if anybody has, I put Bird Box. That's funny. If anybody has a like filmed, staged version of it, it's probably there. Let's see. Oh, they do have it. They've got like the old BBC version. So definitely gonna watch that. Because, man, literally, I just reading it just wasn't enough. You gotta watch it. So, I think two things about it really stood out to me as things that would make me want to draw something. And the first of those things is the character Tamara, and just her drive for revenge and kind of what it means to be a mother and what you would do to protect your family and your children, and what you would do if somebody harmed them. And on the flip side of that, Lavinia, what happened to her was the other thing that really stood out to me. She's a young woman, and she gets raped, and then her tongue is cut out so she can't tell anybody what happened. And then her hands are cut off also so she can't write down to tell anybody what happened. And Tamara had a moment where she could have stepped in and, stopped this from happening in some way. But because Lavinia, this innocent young lady, because she is the daughter of her enemy, daughter of the guy who had her son ritualistically killed, she doesn't stop it. In fact, she's the one that says, go do what you're gonna do, but just make sure she can't tell anyone about it after. And so, I'm really torn, and this is why I don't feel like I had enough time with the script to really understand its intricacies and the motivations. But she knows what happens, how it feels to be both wronged by having your children hurt, and she knows also how it feels to be wronged in that you're an innocent person having things happen to you. And still she made the choice to let her sons rape this girl and then cut out her tongue and cut off her hands. And I don't know what I've just drawn here. This is just idle doodling while I talk, because I have no idea what I actually want to convey in the actual card itself. I know we're definitely going red. I think I've decided my tragedies are red. Titus Andronicus. Something about innocence and something about perhaps drive, and how sometimes the choices we make are, we think they're good choices for us, but for other people, the people that we hurt, the innocent people who get hurt because we'd rather hurt somebody else, so we hurt that other person. Essentially, that revenge has its place, but not, oh, this is tough. All right. I think I'm feeling a bowl full of blood. That's what I'm feeling. How do you draw a bowl? That doesn't look like no bowl I have ever seen. I have a bowl. How hard is it to draw a bowl? It's really hard. Really quite hard for me to draw a bowl. Bowl. I've said bowl a lot. Bowl. Isn't there an episode of How I Met Your Mother where Ted is just saying bowl for like 20 minutes? Bowl. That's a bucket. This is not a bowl. I don't know if I'm feeling going like super three-dimensional here. I almost kind of want to just let it be just kind of flat. I do need my drawing guide though, because I need it. I need my lines. So there are my lines. And I don't really like this bowl at all. I kind of just want to blow it away and start over, but it's a freaking bowl. Why is it so hard to draw a bowl? Bowl. So generally, I'm thinking a general bowlish shape. Nay, no bowl. We're going for a cup. I feel like the cup is going to be something that shows up a lot across my oracle cards, because it's just such a good image. Such a strong image. A cup. Okay. And it's like overflowing. When you get so much liquid in a vessel and then it kind of gets that bubble on top? That's what I want. dribbling down. And I want a puddle at the bottom. Because this is your revenge. But I don't think it's that simple. I think I need something in here to kind of demonstrate, to kind of show how this is a really tough one, because I don't want to leave it at just like, revenge sucks or revenge is great, choose wisely. But like I want to say something about what happens to other people, to the people stuck in the middle, So it can't just be, I swear my house was built on a hill. I just keep sliding over here. It's very frustrating. I want to say something about how it's like revenge is an option and you can do it. I don't think there's, a little bit of revenge is cathartic sometimes. I don't think you're a bad person for getting revenge or for seeking revenge. I don't think it makes you a bad person. But I think you do have to be very careful. And I think that there can be unintended consequences. Or, just intended consequences that go beyond just revenge. But I like this kind of image so far, but I feel like I need something backgroundy to kind of add that extra dimension to it. I'm just going to start drawing it and see what happens. So I'm just going to take the opacity down on this blue layer and then create a new layer on top. And then and then we're gonna go here and just start sketching it in. Actually, here's a thought. I think we're gonna do this in like the opposite of what I would normally do. And that I'm going to color the background and have this, it'll be kind of opposite to what I would normally think to do. So I don't know how that might change the way I'm thinking about this. We'll see. It's literally just, we'll see. I know nothing right now. Maybe it looks a bit like icicles, not the intent. Just gotta round them off a little bit. Not icicles anymore. Definite drippage. And if I wanted to be really, really meta, and I do want to be really meta. I can't help it. I really, I try to just do things normally. It just doesn't work out for me. Let's just keep redoing this line 75 times. That's helpful. Anyway, because I do want to be really meta, we're doing this. Yes, we are doing this. So lately I've been drawing traditionally as well, waiting for the AI uprising to mean that I no longer have to do digital art because the robots will do it. And I keep tapping on the paper and trying to zoom in on it. And it's really funny. I'm amused. I didn't like where that was placed. It was a little lopsided. So I'm just going to, I just cut it out. And now I'm gonna move it. I also kind of feel like, want to flip it too. Or maybe just a little rotato. Just straight up and down. There we go. Yeah, there it goes. That's about even with the other side. I think I'm largely happy with that. Although I think it would be kind of fun if we get rid of this and add one here where it's hitting the glass a bit. Maybe. Yep. So, no. Accidental undo. That is the one disadvantage of the digital thing. Accidental undos. But yeah, this I think is a little too wide. I want to keep it kind of compact, so I'm just gonna shorten both of those sides down a little. But I don't want them to be symmetrical, like perfectly looking the same on each side, because it's a spill. And keep it a little organic. But yeah, there we go. And actually, I want to add a little side drop there. Right. Titus Andronicus, if you're just coming in, is a revenge play, and it's really messed up, and it's really cruel. So I'm drawing this card to show that revenge is great, but you gotta be smart about it. You gotta not like hurt other people in the process, you know? So that's what's going on here. And I think I also decided I'm going to start a new layer before I do this because I'll be crazy. And before I do that, actually, it's really far down and I want it to be centered in the card. So you see these yellow lines? So glad, like this is a thing that Procreate hasn't always done. It hasn't always given us those guidelines, and now it does, and I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna hide my blue layer back here. And something's missing over here. Let me add in this side of the glass. Maybe. I'm gonna have to revisit that piece. But I want to go ahead and start shading the background. So I want just a black background, I think. And then the cup can be white. And there are easier ways to do this. Look at this. If I wanted a whole black background, I can drag and drop. I could do that. I don't want to. I really enjoy pretending that I'm using paper. And I like the texture from the brushes, the way it kind of looks like paper. So rather than just dragging and dropping, I want to actually shade it out as if this was an actual piece of paper, an actual card I was drawing on. Because I think that's the theme that's kind of happened with the rest of them. The rest of the cards in this deck so far is that they're all pretty obviously drawn. You know, they all look like something you would draw in just your sketchbook, and I like that. So I want to generally keep the texture, how it looks like this piece right here looks like I've actually drawn it. I want to keep that as much as possible. So I am going to have to do a couple layers to the background because right now it looks like trash. Especially where I'm using the smaller brush here. Like you can see around the edges here. And then you come out here and it's just totally different brush. So I am going to have to do a couple layers to make this look even. But just for now, because I want to kind of get the big picture, I want to get the idea on the paper and then kind of finesse it. Idea first, then nicen it, which is a word that I just created, and if Shakespeare can create words, then so can I. We're gonna nicen it later. I don't know if I'm gonna keep the little splash because I don't know if I'm a good enough drawer to do it convincingly or if it's gonna just look stupid. But we'll keep it for now. We'll see what happens. See what happens with it in a bit. What is going to help is when I add color to this. That's going to help a lot, I think. But right now I just want to get the black on the background so that I can start to look at it and see the contrast and see where I might need to add light or more shadows. I wonder if you're watching, have you ever seen or read Titus Andronicus? And if so, what were your thoughts about it? Like, what were your takeaways? Did you enjoy it? Because I feel like it would be one very easy to not enjoy. It's a really, really sick, messed up play. At the end, I think it's at the end, right, where people get cooked into a pie. There's a your mama joke in the play when Tamara has the villain Aaron. They're all villains in this play. Is there anyone good in this play? Poor sweet Lavinia is probably the only decent person. But Aaron, one of the villains, has a child with Tamara, and her older sons are, when they see that she's had a child with him, they say something like, "You have undone our mother." And then he's like, "I have done your mother. Like, I've fucked your mom." It's brilliant. And also highly fucked up. Okay. I want to add some red. I'm going to do that in another new layer. Look how trashy this background is right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the drawing guide. I don't think I need it or want it anymore. No, I'm going to turn it back on because this cup is it's lopsided and it bugs me. How I intend to do that. I'm just going to take my pencil back. You know what I should do? I should use my technology the way it was intended. There's another drawing guide I can use. I can use this symmetry drawing guide, which I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna do, okay, so I'm in a new layer. I'm gonna draw my cup. I think I like this side better. And look at that. Look at that. Suddenly we have two symmetrical sides. But fix it now or finesse it later? Fix it now or fix it in post? This is the question. To post or not to post? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. Who's messaged me? Crazy. I sent a link to somebody today via WeTransfer. I sent it early afternoon sometime. The person I sent it to just got it. It's like, it took 5 hours to like receive that email. It's pretty nuts. All right, I'm gonna combine these down, merge them down. So now when I have to erase, only erasing, I only have to do it once. I'm gonna hide the background layer really quick. I think, yeah, this line we don't need, do we? I'm gonna finesse. I'm gonna finesse it a little bit more. I'm gonna make it assisted again, because look at that stem. That's not a good stem. I'm gonna fix that. First off, I need to add the whole bottom of the cup. Our cup has a bottom now. Yeah, I want a thinner stem. So I'm giving myself a thin stem. And look at that, it erases the other side too, which is pretty cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and erase the whole stem. It's ugly. It's ugly. And I'm trying to keep as close to this, or like as close to parallel to that center line as I can, so that it's a fairly, you know, straight up and down, fairly parallel thing. And then I'll erase that and just touch up the edges a bit. Need to erase in here a bit because that's a little extra mess. All right. Much happier with this. I will now take off the assist so that I can fix the drips over here. I don't think I like having that. I think I really like it to just be on one side like that. And we wouldn't see any of this. That's underneath. And we wouldn't see this because that's underneath too. Again, not sure if I'm gonna keep that. Actually, you know what? We should, I'm gonna fix it now, or try to fix it now and see if I want to keep it. I'd rather, you know, make that choice now and then, you know, if it sucks, not do it, then get to the end of it, the end of the whole piece, and, you know, it sucks. So, here's our glass, right? We've got our little droplet. It's making impact here. What do we think? It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna keep it. Just gonna make it a little more understandable that this is what it is, I guess. All right, Here we go. Let me... Can't even speak. Let me put this back on. And now that I've moved things a little bit, I'm going to have to go over it again. Like I said, but I knew, I was expecting to have to, do this a few times. Trying a different brush this time just to see how it looks at these, like with these close, like small close edges. The other brush was kind of a little too soft on the edges, so it wasn't leaving the crisp lines that I really want. So trying a different brush. But with this brush, you can see that there's not as much of that nice texture that I like. So I'll have to go over this, I think, with the eraser so that I can kind of add in the texture after the fact. Because I do want the texture on the grand scale. But like right here where I'm trying to, really define the image, I need darkness. The texture can come later. So I guess that's the plan. Also, those of you that draw, I want to know what you do with your other hand, because right now mine's a fist in my pocket. I feel like that's probably pretty standard for what I do with my offhand. For any hand that I'm not using, default fist in pocket. Just, I don't know why, or why I'm even thinking about that, let alone why I'm talking about it. But yeah. Tell me what to do with my hands. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. It's still a little bit too soft, I think, but we're adding color to this. We're adding some red to this, so I think that once we add that color, it won't look as kind of sloppy. A little sloppy is good though. I like a little bit of slop. What I don't want is to have the black go too much into where it's glass, because I want to keep as much of this gray background paper, I guess, as possible for where it's just pure glass. I think I'll definitely shade it, but I don't want it to be, like I'm a 5-year-old coloring it in. Not for this one. I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure that'll be a style for one of these plays. I feel like 5-year-old with a crayon would fit really well for Hamlet. Now there's a fun oracle deck idea. What if you just like had kids draw stuff with their crayons? What would happen? And then what would you see? If you actually made a deck with kids just drawing the cards, and then you actually used it, what kind of readings would you get? I bet it would be interesting. I wonder if anyone's done that. I'm sure somebody has somewhere. That brush was too big. Titus Andronicus, a play about revenge. Is it about revenge? It certainly features it. Okay. Definitely I'm gonna have to go in and with my eraser add in some texture like so. No, that one's just not good for texture, I think. Maybe I'll do that one. I don't know. We'll see. But let's just start here. Okay, I'm going to do another new layer, and I'm going to go ahead and do the color. We're doing red, because that's the color that I've chosen for all of the tragedy plays, and especially this one, which is so bloody and so violent. It's really tempting to just go boop. But I want the texture. That is so bright. Wow. Where did this come from? Get out of there. Where is that? Why isn't it erasing? I'm confused as to why this is not erasing. I don't know what is happening. There we go. Get out of there. Okay, it erased. All right. Back to bleeding. I'm gonna make sure I've got nice, like, rounded tips on these drippy pieces, just so that we know again that it's drippy liquid. Oh no, that's fun. Okay, hold on. I am just wondering what would happen if I don't color the whole thing red and let some of this just be like, kind of do an ombre from like black into red, so that the red kind of stays in the middle of the card. So kind of like this. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. It might be a little too weird. I don't know. I love weird though. I really do love weird, so. Because one of my concerns here is that, like, this whole glass is gonna be red, and that's gonna send the whole thing into just like red overload. So I wonder if I can use the red and the black to make a hybrid blood. hybrid blood. Blood, blood, blood. Drippy, drippy blood. It's the theme of the play. Titus Andronicus. Blood, blood, blood. That would be the theme song if Titus Andronicus was like a sitcom in the 1990s. Actually, I would love to watch that show. Titus Andronicus, the sitcom from the 90s specifically. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this though. And just let the blood, the red, be in the middle. Because I have a plan. I have a plan now. I didn't always. All right, underneath this blood layer, I'm going to create another layer. And I'm going to go back to my black and white palette. You're all seeing the names that I name my palettes. Oh, goodness. We're going to go back to black here. And I'm going to also, I think I'm going to hide that background layer for just a little bit while I'm shading. I don't know why that will help me, but I think it might. But I'm going to just start shading in with black now. And I want to see if I can kind of create the illusion that the blood and is two-tone, I guess. So here we go. I love this particular pencil brush, the HB pencil brush, because you can just use it as though you're using the side of a pencil, old school style. Actually, I wonder if I should put this on top so that I can kind of blend it over the red a bit. Because that way I can add dimension on top of the bright red as well. You know what? I do need the background. I need to make sure that I'm not making things like too dark. So I'm just going to unhide the background there. It kind of hurts to look at, honestly, this bright red. Like, really hurts to look at, actually. Ouch. How to show the inside of, like, the top of the cup. How to do that part. I thought I turned on Do Not Disturb. I'm getting messages on Facebook. Ooh. I need a wine glass. I need to fill it with a liquid and look at it. You know what? I bet Google has this. I'm just going to Google a little reference pic. RQ. Very full. Gotta actually click a text area. Very full wine glass. That's not very full. Do you even know what very full means? Google. Here we go. So it's just a little extra space down here. But otherwise, and then maybe a little less there. Okay, cool. Thank you, Google. All right, go away. I think I'm gonna go really dark at this bottom area. And then I'm gonna smudge it. No, I wanna go like really dark. Really dark. 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 And then smudge it darker. Man, if you wanted to watch a normal video, you've chosen poorly. Smudge, smudge, smudge. Too much smudge now. All right. I'm going to go dark at the bottom and then gradually go to red. That's what I want to do. Which could be a tough thing to do as far as this whole, like the way I've kind of lit the thing. Because right now it's so dark in the background that if I go really dark here and even not so dark where it's outside the cup, it still might be kind of tough to see what's going on. But I have a plan for that. I think that we are going, because most of my other cards have had some form of glowing to them. And so if we do glowing blood, then those places here in the middle where it's glowing are going to be a little bit more lit up. And so you'll actually be able to tell like what it is that you're looking at. That's the plan. That's my thought. That's my idea. But again, we need to go like fully black down here at the bottom. And then like about here will be just generally kind of gray. We're gonna do the shading graphite for this one, just because it's a big enough area to where like I'm annoyed by having to do it with that tiny pencil, but not so big an area like on the background where it was like you could see that it was a round brush with soft edges. So, yeah. So we're going to do the shading graphite brush. And we're going to try to make it look good. We're going to try so hard to make it look good. We're going to try. We're trying. We are trying. Okay, I feel like that's too dark up there at the top. That's not a gradient at all. That is the one thing. I keep saying that's the one thing about technology. There are so many one things. Someone should just keep a list of all the times I say, that's the one thing I don't like about this. Because there's a lot of things. With a pencil, you know, it would have, I could have done a gradient the way I see it in my head. But the fact that I'm using a big round brush that overlays and overlaps on top of other big round brush strokes, then I usually end up with like these lines here where it's like clearly too dark, or these uneven spaces. And I think my workaround to that has to be changing direction as I'm shading. Like, I'm gonna do diagonal on here for a minute, and then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do the other diagonal for a minute. It still looks like trash. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna erase on top, and then we're gonna erase a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. We're gonna erase. Look at that. Eraser. Vital. But I want to darken it up a little. I think that it's kind of split into thirds. I feel like I want to kind of just split it into half instead of like 1, 2, 3 spaces. I'm going to bring up this darker section up a little bit higher. Why am I literally just said don't just do side to side, and I just did it again. I'm going to try diagonals. Diagonals, bitch. And I'm going to do up and down. Up and down, up and down. I will lead them up and down. That's a Midsummer quote, I think. It might not actually be a quote. I've never played Puck before, but I think it's a quote. Wonder when I do Midsummer. I hope I draw Midsummer in the winter. That's what I hope. Midsummer used to be one of my like all-time favorite plays. But now I'm pretentious and I don't like it as much. All right, I'm gonna smooth it out with my little fingertip. I'm gonna use a sketching blender. I think I'll use shading graphite. Why not? Just keep the texture as close as I can. Oh, that was a really harsh shade there. So I don't want it to look like featureless like this, you know. But I do want it to be a little less like stripes and a little more like a gradient. I think that looks okay. I think I can kind of abide by that. It's a little wonky in the lighter area. Let's throw an eraser on it. It's better. It's not my fave, but it's better. All right, I'm gonna actually this one's really tough. It's a tough play to watch, to read, to understand, to study, and this is a tough card to draw. Titus Andronicus. I'm gonna go ahead and add the light. I'm going to duplicate this layer so that I can futz around with it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I duplicated it and I hid it so that now in this version of that layer, I can, you know, kind of just screw around. And if I don't like it, then I can delete it and try again. Okay, so these are my glowing thingies. Glowing blood drops. But I want to give them even more, like less, like I like the harsh light, but I want to give them a little bit more glow around the edges. So that is what I will do here. It's weird, right? It's weird. It's weird. Right, so I've erased that, but because it's, you know, red, it's gonna have kind of a red glow to it. So another new layer underneath the blood drops. I'm going to put my red pencil back in and just with a really light touch, just add a red hue to the light that is coming off of the blood drops. Good Lord, it hurts to look at it. Literally is hurting my eyes very badly. This bright red. And like, that's too bright. Way too bright. So if I don't love it, I can change the opacity so that it's just a kind of red tint rather than like fully red. Which actually, I'm gonna try to just add like an intense red to each of them. And then just change the opacity. I wonder which one looks better. Neither of them looks better. I think this one actually does. Like, this is too much. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Don't like it. Okay, so I've got my light. I'm gonna duplicate, hide, and then I'm gonna smudge it out. Actually, I'm gonna smudge the light, you know, the background bouncy light part. Smudge it out. Just smudge it out. And I'm also going to smudge out this piece too, because it looks kind of cloudy. And I don't want it to look cloudy. I want it to look smooth and like a light source, you know? So these pieces, yeah, I'm gonna smudge them out. Did I make it worse? Maybe. But this is why I do duplicate layers of things. Because if I make it worse and I hate it, I can just undo it. I think it's just a little bit too, well, I think I need to think about the reflection of the lights on the glass as well. So in addition to the drips that are dropping, that are glowing, I think that there's going to be a spot here that's going to be glowing. Actually, this whole side till about here is going to be reflecting that glow. And the same, this is going to be all reflecting. And this is going to be a reflection. There's going to be a little reflection here. So, okay. I'm gonna give it a little smudgy smudge. A little smudgy smudge. A little smudge. Smooch, smooch. And then also in those places, I think I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to hide. I'm going to show this one. Because now all of these places where there's red is going to have, it's going to be having a glow sort of situation. So I'm going to take my eraser and kind of do what I had done previously and do each of these and this. So it'll be a bright one. That's a really bright one. It's a bright one. And then also it's going to be glowing here too as well. So I think the secret might be to just do a big glow like this. That might be the most, like, the best way to sell it as a buttload of shiny objects glowing all together. Done. All right. But I am still going to have that red glow, just keep that kind of localized, I think, around each of the things as it is. Okay. Put this back in. What do we think of that? I don't know about it. For one, it needs to go behind the glow. All right, it's behind the glow. Okay, I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it yet. I think we need to add some shading where shading should be. And I mean, it's glowing, right? It's glowing edges, so it's not gonna be like, I don't even know. Again, I need a wine glass for this, but like, where do you get reference pictures for this shit? Where do you get that? I don't know. Am I on a new layer? I am on a new layer. Good. And because it's glass, I don't mind having the dimensionality on the glass being really, really smooth. I think that would be fine. I would be okay with that. So I'm just gonna do some, you know what? I'm just gonna like do the whole thing just kind of in a lightish shaded gray kind of situation. And then I'm gonna add white to it, and then I'm gonna smear it out and just see how that looks. It might work, it might not. I don't know. And then even here on the base of the cup, I think there would be some red reflection from the light. So I'm gonna have to add that in. All right, so there's the black. I'm gonna add some white. You know what? No, we're not gonna add white yet. I'm just gonna smear this out really quick. And I'm gonna keep just letting it get really dark, I think. And then because there is such harsh light in the red, I'm gonna add the white later, I think. I don't actually know. I don't know what I'm doing. Psh, I didn't go to art school. I barely went to school. That's a lie. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. Stupid. I don't think people should get 1 bachelor's degree, let alone 2. People should become plumbers, you know, offer services that are actually useful to the world instead of doing this shit all day. Am I a cynic? I think I might be a cynic. No, I'm just jealous that I'm not a plumber. I don't have that big plumber money, you know? I got that big nonprofit money. Actually, I wonder if I should blend this inside the glass out a lot, because if it's glass, right? All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna duplicate. We're gonna hide one, And then we're going to blend it out and see if I like it. Because it's glass. So it should be smooth like the rest of the glass. Duh. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm not hating it at the moment. Could very easily be hating it, but I'm not. I need some shadow at the base. And I'm going to smooth it just a bit. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just going to have a harsh shadow there. Because I can do what I want. Right, and we're going to stick to the same concept that we have up top, where it's darker the farther away from the drops it is. But because the drops are, right here, there's not as much here. So the shading, the gradient is going to be just a smaller, more compressed version of that. So again, we make this like the blackest black. And again, also because it's a shadow, so a shadow with all this harsh light around, it's gonna be quite dark. So we're gonna let it be what it is. You know what? I don't need this on anymore, this drawing guide. I'm quite satisfied. I wonder if I should keep the outline of the glass or not. I wonder what it looks like without it. Oh, that's crazy without it. That's fun. All right. I'll revisit it later after everything is more well defined. I will revisit it because that would be really cool if I get the lines to be crisp enough to where I don't have to have the whole outline of the cup itself. Yeah, doll, most people I think don't know Titus Andronicus very well. I think because it's so bloody and racist, a little bit racist. But is it though? Also, we have to, again, I did not have the time to give it the due, that it deserves. But yeah, I think people are hesitant to perform it because, one, it's not going to make money. I think a lot of Shakespeare companies, this is why they do Midsummer every year, or Much Ado About Nothing every year, because those are well-known plays that everybody knows about them. So you see it on a poster and you go, oh, Midsummer. Yeah, let's go see that. That's Shakespeare. Versus Titus Andronicus, you see that on a poster and you just go, what the fuck is that? And you go see Cats instead. So I think that there's that reason. It's not a butts and seats kind of play. And it's really bloody and has a lot of really complex adult themes that I would bet a lot of companies are hesitant to touch. I need to hit this with the eraser a little bit. Just smooth out that gradient a bit. smooth out the gradient. And I am going to add some shadow to the ground where the pool is, which will be necessary if I decide to get rid of the outline of the drawing itself. Am I even doing anything? It's like not even registering. So light. Okay. I gotta press harder. I was doing a little bit too sideways brush and it wasn't registering at all. There we go. A little less sideways brush action. And we'll get ourselves a little shadow going on. Okay. So now if we take away that, kind of have a defined thing. But I'm gonna clean it up and make it just a little cleaner. Define that shadow line a little bit. And again, I'm gonna hit this with a little bit more erase just to make the gradient here a little less uneven and less harsh, because I don't want a harsh gradient. I don't want a harsh gradient. Gosh. And then I'm also gonna hit the base of the cup again, so that, because like right here it's just really ugly and it needs to not be. So just smudging it out so that it looks like glass. I actually really like it without the lines. I really like it a lot without the lines. So we're gonna, I'm gonna keep this as it is, right? But I am going to also just, darken it up a little so that the form is more present. But I really like the idea that the stem kind of disappears into the background, like just because the lights are so bright, and if it's clear glass it's gonna be also quite bright, so it's gonna kind of fade, gonna kind of camouflage in with the backdrop. So smudge, smudgy, smudge, smudge, smudge to the end of days. End of days. All right, this red is also like really out of place. So I'm gonna go back here and just fix that. Like this doesn't need, we don't need all of that, right? We don't need all of this, but we are gonna need to smear it out because again, it's on the glass and I want the stuff that's on the glass to be quite smooth. So we'll smooth it. Smooth it. Whoa. Like so. Smooth it, smooth it. You know what I do need to do is this backdrop, like the background here is like really, the background on the glass here is really bad. I just need to fill in some of the area that I neglected when I was using that really thick outline. All right, back to my red highlight smoothage. Man, my back is wrecked. Wrecked back. Oh my God. I'm just gonna get rid of that whole line. That whole line was bad. All right, going back to red. It doesn't need to be super bright, but bright enough. This might be too bright. I don't know. I just don't know. All right, let's touch up these drip drops here. I want them to be I can't decide if I want them to be quite smooth as well. No, I don't. I want them crisp, I think. I would like them to be crisp. Crispy. So I'm just going to color them in really dark. Like so. And like so. Now, how I'm going to get them, if I'm just like making them just this really heavily pigmented area, how I'm going to get them to be like fading into the black part. Not sure. It's a question for 20 minutes from now, Reese. Right now, let's just perfect these little droplets. Like I don't, where even is this coming from? It's on here. I might go ahead and erase this, actually. That was too much. Too much eraser. I think we'll add that in just a moment. Actually, that's kind of fun to have it just as erased. That's really fun. I don't know. But right now, I just don't want all of the black background behind my beautiful little drops that I'm perfecting right now. My beautiful drops. Oh my gosh, it really does hurt to look at. That's like the 9th time I've said something about it, but it does. That's nuts. All right. I'm almost happy with these droplets. With this splatter drops. I think this one needs to come down into a point. And this one needs to come down into a point that connects with it. Maybe this one needs to connect too. What do you think? Yeah. All right. All right. All right, just kind of make these ones look all nice. These ones, why am I just do it upside down? Just flip the paper. Just flip it. Flip it good. Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for bed. I have not slept well lately. And it's because of my dog. She keeps like pushing me out of the bed. And I keep having to like assert my dominance, which I don't really want to do. I don't like doing it. I'd rather cuddle with her, to be honest. But like I don't sleep. There's no room. She's a big dog. All right. Those are some bright ass drops. They're killing my eyeballs. Can I be done with this one soon? Okay. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna actually use this layer that appears to just have nothing on it. And I'm going to draw this red down into its place, I guess. I think I should use a harder pencil, actually. Maybe. It's a little... Like, I don't want it to just... I don't want these to have soft edges at all. So maybe technical pencil is what I will use here. Because I do want it to have a gradient feel, but I don't want soft edges. I don't think that's the way. I think I'm sticking with the HB pencil, and we're just gonna use pressure, sensitivity, and the angle of the pencil to make that happen the way I want it to happen. So yeah, I can kind of smooth it out like that. And then maybe we use an eraser as well to just keep it contained, perhaps. Is this the direction that I want to go? Where it's just all red? I'm gonna test out really quick adding that black in. See if it works. It may not work. I think it works. I don't know. I'm not convinced and I'm not unconvinced. I do also really like just having it cut out like that. I think is really cool. I wonder what would happen if we got rid. It's like too high concept. I don't know that's. I don't think so. I like it, but I don't like it. It just doesn't look complete. So I'll stick with the plan. And the plan is no plan. Just kind of fucking around till it looks like something I don't dislike. I do maybe want to smudge. Actually, here's how we're gonna roll right here. Just created a new layer with the like bright colored droplets. And I'm gonna just draw right on top of them so that I can blend things a little bit better. Yeah, that's more desirable. Again, don't want to do too much blendage, but definitely, like, I want the tips to be quite sharp, like firm edges, but this piece, I think I'm okay with blending it into the other. Should I be shading with the shading graphite? I feel like something just isn't quite working about it. About the whole thing. I think I'm just gonna have to move really kind of carefully. I guess. Not loving it. I wonder if the gradient part is kind of throwing it off. And we need to just have the contents or the blood where it's not, either it needs to be all red or it needs to be like a gray rather than trying to go from black to gray to red. I don't know. Kind of too tired to care, to be honest. Kind of ready to just chuck this out the window and go to bed. It's kind of where I'm at in the headspace right now. Kind of over it. Like, definitely at that point where I'm just about to just like, you know what? This is what it is. Fuck it. I'm fine. I'm really fine. Gonna have to seek revenge on this play, though, for just making me feel like trash and inadequate as an artist. Like, what if I could do just straight up black? Like, I really, really like the black. And I think that's the way to go. But the background is already so dark, so black, that I don't think it'll work. But what if we tried it? New layer! It's the fucking theme of this entire piece right here. Okay, so we're just blacking it out. And like, I don't care what it looks like, because I'm just trying to see if the concept is doable. Like, see if it works. It really doesn't. Maybe with highlights it would work. Maybe, but like the black and then the black just doesn't. No, I'm quite sure I'm not okay. But I'm here in front of people doing a thing that's going to be on my YouTube channel forever. So I have to act like I'm halfway okay. It's 10 o'clock. I might not make it through this one. But do I have to pretend that I'm okay for all the people that aren't watching? For you? No. But what if somebody else watches someday? Then they'll know. They'll know I'm faking it. Can't have that. Okay. So gray is the answer. If I can't have black, right, it's got to be the gray. That's the answer. And the the paper is gray. So if I can just work in like just having the paper be the blood, if I can just kind of do it that way, maybe that's the answer. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm literally just ready to go to bed. Like, can I be done so I can fucking go to bed? How old am I? I shouldn't yearn for the bed like I do. I should be full of youthful vitality, and I'm not. Full of dog poop and knives. Okay. So here's the plan. We're gonna make this little cup. I'm just gonna make this little goddamn motherfucking piece of shit cup. That's what we're gonna do. Like so. You little piece of... I'm gonna put all of my hatred and anger and grumpiness into this little fucking cup. I'm the anti-Bob Ross. Anti-Ross. The anti-Ross. Okay. We'll smudge. And we're smudging. That's what I need to do. I need to smudge my whole body with all of the purifying herbs and spices. I need like the whole bucket. Whole bucket smudging. Was this the answer? Was gray the answer? I don't know. I don't know that I'm liking it any more or less than the other way. Because now it's just like a really harsh line again. And I don't want a really harsh line. This one may end up being, oh well, fuck it, and this is what it is. I don't think I have the patience tonight to present much longer on this. I think I've got another 30 minutes in me tops. So we'll see if I can make something I like out of it in that amount of time. Otherwise, it either is what it is, or maybe I'll come back to it later. I don't know. I haven't revisited any of the other cards. I want to go back to Romeo and Juliet, because that card has ended up not really fitting the other styles, I guess. brush am I using? The wrong one. Whatever. Whatever. Like that did nothing. That did nothing. Oh, God, that is such a harsh line. Oh, I'm getting angry. This isn't good. This is not good. I'm becoming actually angry. I'm going to go ahead and blame the nature of the play and not the fact that I have anger issues. That's the direction I'm going to go with that lie. Why do you need to learn to write a mystery? What's the mystery that you want to write? And why do you need to learn how to do it? All right, there's some soft glass. I think I still don't love the really sharp, like the really heavy outline. But I don't know if I can be bothered to change it, to do anything about it. I don't know if I care enough to change it. A mystery. So you picked a mystery, but you don't know how to write a mystery. Are not the ideas that you had that made you go, oh, it should be a mystery, were those not mysterious enough? Why are you thinking that you don't know how to write a mystery when you conceptualized a mystery already? You know what I mean? Oh, yes. The clues. The clues. Just watch a buttload of finds a clue. So right now the script is just like he finds a clue, but you don't know what the clues are. What about like backwards engineering? Where you like, well, you know he was murdered with a candlestick. So there's wax somewhere. So maybe they find candle wax somewhere where it doesn't belong. Or he was murdered in the garden, there's dirt somewhere. I don't know. I've never written a mystery, but I think that's how I would approach it. Would just like to reverse engineer. Just see what happens. I'm always really fascinated by like murder mystery TV shows. Like, how did they never run out of ideas for clues? How does that never, like, they always have so much ammo. Especially when the clues are not always really stupid. I'm always impressed. Ah, son of a bitch. Been putting all of this on the wrong layer. Fucking classic me. So, starting over. But the story around it kind of shifts. Yeah. Murder, She Wrote. I've never watched that, but I'm rewatching Psych right now, which is just like one of my all-time favorite shows ever. And like, the creative ways that they murder people is also fascinating. Like, who thinks of this? And then the like even more creative, cleverer ways that they solve the mysteries are just wacky. How do they do it? Is Murder, She Wrote, is it good? Like, is it something I should watch? But bear in mind, I mostly watch TV at work, so I can't actually pay attention to it, really. Which is why I'm watching Psych, because I've seen it so many times that I don't need to watch it. Don't need to be able to see it to know what's going on. Okay, this doesn't suck. Is it streaming somewhere? Where would I go to watch Murder, She Wrote? Here I am talking about it's 10 o'clock, I'm ready for bed, and now I'm talking about where do I watch Murder, She Wrote? I am far older than I should be. I want early bedtime and cozy mysteries. Hook it up. Oh, Peacock. God damn it. Yeah. I need to get that anyway because, again, psych, there's a whole movie on there that I have never seen because I don't buy Peacock. Because if I did, then I would be buying like all of the services, and I can't. I'm too proud. I'm too proud. Like there's just literally there's too many streaming services now. There's too many. I can't keep up. $0.99 a month for a year? That sucks. I would have done that. I for sure would have done that. But yeah, I didn't get in on that floor. I wonder also how many people are going to be deleting Netflix with their most recent change. Cuz like that's a big one and stupid. Like I can't imagine that Netflix is losing money on people sharing passwords. Are they? Is this like a business critical decision that they made? I need to know why. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. The investors are. Why would it not apply to US customers? That doesn't make sense. Why would it apply to any customers? But it was just nuts. I was thinking about when I lived abroad. You know, that's going to be an issue, right? If you go abroad. I know they said like you'll have like you can have a temporary code or whatever. But I was abroad for like 6 months. That 1 month long or that 7-day long temporary code, that would not have cut it. Because nobody travels for more than 7 days, apparently. And I'm just kind of wondering if I should just go for red now that I'm doing it. Maybe red was the answer the whole time, and maybe I was overcomplicating things. So if I just pop some red in here real quick and pop some red down here real quick, what happens? It's just really a lot of color. Really a lot of color. Maybe I changed my mind about the whole texture thing. We're gonna play the duplicate and try it out game again. Why isn't this smudging? What's going on there? I feel like I'm not on the correct layer. I was not on the correct layer. Actually, I like it better with nothing, with no color. But I still don't like it. Oops. Maximum layers reached. Deleting unused layers. Don't need that one. Okay. Duplicate. Not into what's going on. Okay, that's not so bad. Actually, one thing that I think will help is kind of taking off a little bit of the top piece. And I'm going to do that with the pencil. Okay, so this isn't terrible. I'm not hating it. Not as much as I was 5 minutes ago, anyway. Definitely more tolerable now. Okay. I do really not like the way this shiny red is looking, so I'm gonna redo the reflections in the glass. But first, I need to, like, the stem looks so bad. It's so, like, I just need to erase the edge, basically. That's all I need to do is come in here and erase some of the outside smudging so that it looks just more like a crisp piece of glass instead of whatever it looks like, a crumbled up straw wrapper. Right, see? Already much nicer, and just running at it with a little bit of aeration. But like this piece is so much darker than the rest. I'm gonna hit it with some, again, erasing, and then I'm gonna smudge it out again. And then this is also like way darker, and I don't really approve of that. So again, eraser, and then smudge, erase and smudge. the name of the cleanup game. And then I'm gonna erase on top of here too, just so that it's smoother. This like needs a whole lot of erasing and a whole lot on the inside too. And now smudge, 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 smudge. And I'm gonna give a little kind of definition where the stem meets the base and smudge it out. Okay, and I wanna actually, instead of that, I'm gonna give it a little like this thing. I'm sure there's a word for that in bottles and glass, where the thing kind of, like the bottom of a wine bottle has the little, what's the name for that? Like, I'm sure it has one. Okay. Now I think I will put the red highlights back on and a new layer. So there's definite red highlights, reflections in the glass here, but not like really bright ones. So just a little bit. I'm going to use the graphite. You know what? No, I'm going to use the soft pastel brush for these like big softer, a punt. That does. I thought that was the name of the stick. I don't know anything about glassmaking. Is it even called making? Glass blowing? I don't know anything about glass. Except it's recyclable, I guess. Right. No, needs more. Needs some more. That's better. Now this one has, it's like actually touching it, so I want it to have a bit more, a bit brighter, probably a wider area of effect. Where is that? All right. Need a smaller brush. Gonna be really bright right here, probably pretty bright right here, and I will just smudge those out to start. I think I'm definitely gonna have to add more, but I'm gonna start by just adding these little tiny bright spots. And then adding lighter in between. Is that too bright? I think that's too bright. My God, I literally like cannot sit up anymore. I'm miserable right now. I need to lie down. Ah. Sometimes I love being a disabled person. I really love it. All right, other side. Hurry up. I need to be done so I can lie down. I just want to lie down. The sooner I finish, the sooner it's Friday. I have no plans. I don't know why I'm excited about Friday other than no reason at all. All right, adding in some shiny red shit down here. And actually, I guess it should kind of come all the way down. At least a little, should be a little bit of red there. Okay. White? Gotta get down on Friday. I gotta get down right now. I wanna get down. Okay. White highlights. Here we go. Bam. Finally. My eyes are literally, like, I'm gonna need all the eye drops before bed. All of the eye drops. This red is insane. I don't think I've ever worked with something that like actually hurts to look at before. kind of looking like kind of pop art-ish, which I'm not angry about. All right. I think I want to add some more white highlights for sure. Oops, that was the eraser, not the smudge. I feel like the white in the middle is probably not the right thing, but I don't know. Don't mind it. It's just a little too bright, but I want some more just kind of generic like highlights in the glass, you know? We'll see if that doesn't suck. So there's this. I'm still not loving the little background on the red tinge on the droplets. So I'm gonna soften them out. I wonder if it shouldn't be localized like that. I'm gonna try just one big red color. Actually, I feel like that's a little too bright. So I just want to take some of it out in the mid, like where that glass actually is. But I think that's the idea. But I'm gonna no. I'm gonna try again. And I'm gonna do the whole thing. Okay, but I'm gonna pop this behind. No, it's better on top, but gotta kill some of it. Ooh, is it done? I don't know. Maybe for now. I certainly can't work on it anymore. This little thing is bothering me though. I have no idea where that mark lives. Where does that mark live? The background. Yeah, I guess it's fine for now. I guess this is good enough. Oof. Yeah, next week. Next week is Henry IV, Part 1. That's one of my faves. And then the following is 12th Night. Let's just lay out February here. Henry IV, Part 1, next week. Hopefully on Thursday. I don't think I have anything going on next week. The following week, we're doing 12th Night. The week after is Pericles. And then the last week of February and the first week of March is Julius Caesar. That's the plan. Why am I picking this order? Completely arbitrary. I don't know why these are in the order that they're in. It's just the order that I wanted to do them in. Maybe are they... I honestly can't recall why I put them in the order that I put them in. But yeah, next week, Henry IV, Part 1 is a history. It's one of my favorites. I'm excited to draw it. Don't know what it is I'm going to draw. Hopefully it goes better than this one. Because this one was hard. It doesn't look hard. Looks like you could throw this up and just... that would be the picture that you threw up. But, yeah. Titus Andronicus, a play of revenge and blood and really sinister stuff. Here it is in card format. You know, all that stuff you're supposed to say at the end, like subscribe and like and go to my Patreon and all that stuff if you want to. If you don't want to, don't, but do it anyway. Anyway, I'm rambling because I'm so tired of gravity acting upon me in such a way that it compresses my spine, and I need to go lie down horizontally and let gravity affect me in a different way for the next 6 hours. So hopefully my frustration and grumpiness didn't scare you away. And yeah, smash that like button. Smash it. I will be here next week drawing Henry IV Part 1. Till then,